everybody who's on. I appreciate everyone participating in this call as we deal with what is a day 5 now of snowstorm. Basically, these are two separate storms, but they're combined for our purposes as one. I do have to note as we start out that we unfortunately have had 3 deaths, none today. We had 2 on Monday, one which was a snow shoveling death of a 64-year-old male. Yesterday, unfortunately, I should say Monday, unfortunately, we also had a hit and run accident in Cheektowaga where a 41-year-old male was killed. And yesterday there was a snow blower incident where a 57-year-old woman was found deceased next to her snow blower. And we attribute all of these to the storm. So unfortunately, we have had deaths associated with the storm. Uh, the weather forecast is such that it is anticipated that the uh, front, the snow band will pretty much stay where it is, weaken a little bit during these hours till rush hour. We spoke with the Weather Service just recently, and we asked them what rush hour means. And they said really should start moving south around 5 to 6 o'clock. At that point, it will strengthen and drop another 2 to 4 inches per hour as it moves south, eventually ending up in the southern Hamburg area, which includes Lakeview, the town of Evans, Angola, where it will stay overnight. As it moves south, it is anticipated it will drop another 4 to 8 inches across the area. So places that may have received 9 inches, you should expect another 4 to 8 inches. Areas that have received 2 feet will probably see another 4 to 8 inches. We do know that there are some very high snow totals of up near to 3 feet. We will note that last night we were anticipating in the afternoon 4 to 8 inches in the overnight hour. It was increased to 8 to 12. No time did we have a forecast that said that there were going to be 2 to 3 feet received in some of these communities. And I commend all of the Department of Public Works employees that were out in the overnight hours. They worked as hard as they could and actually did as good a job as possible to keep up with the snow that was falling last night. Uh, and I really appreciate their work, including throughout the day. We are hearing good reports from the communities that were negatively impacted. We have no recommendations from local officials to increase the travel bans above and beyond where they are. The travel bans that are still in effect, of course, include the town of Hamburg and the villages therein, the town of Orchard Park and the village of Orchard Park, the town of Lancaster, the villages of Depew, as well as the village of Lancaster, the town of Cheektowaga, including the villages of Sloan and Depew as well, the city of Lackawanna, town of West Seneca, uh, Buffalo south of Broadway, which then encompasses downtown, but includes South Buffalo, Kaisertown, Lovejoy areas, city of Lackawanna, town of Cheektowaga, is the highest that the driving ban goes. The rest of the communities, and I spoke to supervisors, Culpa from Amherst, Eminger for Tonawanda, and Casilio from Clarence, and they all feel good about where they are, that their Department of Public Works have been able to keep up with the snow as it moved through. Of course, things are potential to change, but as of right now, there's no expectation on increasing of the travel bans. And once again, I want to thank the Department of Public Works employees who are getting pretty tired. They've been doing this for quite some time now. So they're pretty tired and they're hanging in there and they're doing a great job of keeping main roads open. We did get a report from the town of West Seneca Supervisor Gary Dixon that they've made significant headway. Not all of the residential streets are closed, but they are seeing vehicles on major roads that shouldn't be out. There's a driving ban in the town of West Seneca, and it's impeding traffic anywhere or impeding the ability of the towns to actually clear these roads. So where there are travel bans, people, please stay away. It is important that we are able to clear the roads as quickly as possible so that bans can be lifted. We don't anticipate lifting any of the bans soon. They probably will all be in effect at least through the daylight hours, and some may even be in the overnight hours, especially as the snow returns back to Hamburg and Orchard Park and areas such as that. But they're doing a good job of cleaning the roads. Our 911 call center has let us know that they are not receiving many calls for what would be considered true emergencies, which is good. We're happy about that. But they're getting a lot of nuisance calls, people who are calling 911 for non-emergency purposes. I'll give you examples of it. People were calling because they had groceries that were scheduled to be delivered to their home that weren't delivered. They were calling for questions on when's the travel ban going to be lifted, or what's the latest weather report. These are not calls to be made to the 911 call center. Those are only for emergency purposes only. If you have questions that are non-emergency, you can call 211, the informational service that is provided as by our communities. Call 211, not 911. 911 is if you're in a car accident, someone's having a heart attack, things like that. Not I didn't get my groceries, what do I do? Leave that, call 211. Do not call 911. Uh, I was on the phone with the Commissioner of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for New York State, Jackie Bray, just recently. We feel pretty good about where we are, but we are concerned about the snow that is expected to pass back through Buffalo and the areas south starting around rush hour. So we are asking all businesses that may be open to close early as of 4 p.m. or no later than 4 p.m. So that you can give your employees an opportunity to get home before the snow ban comes back through. Because we don't want all of these people on the roads between 5 and 6 if this band is starting to come through and now is dropping snow once again at 3 to 4 inches an hour. Most of the southern communities will still have, they'll all have driving bans in effect. But we're not really worried about people coming or going to those communities because the driving bans were in effect so early this morning, people didn't get out. We are worried about folks that may be downtown that need to go back home to Amherst or areas like that. And we just prefer that they get on the road no later than 4 p.m. so they can get where they are before the band heads south again and strengthens. So we are asking for businesses, if you are open, to do an early close by 4 p.m. We know most of the businesses in the areas that actually have driving bans are closed, which is good. That's what we hope for. So anyone else, if you are still open, if you have a business in the town of Tonawanda, we ask that you close early. Amherst, Clarence, northern Cheektowaga, where it came a little later, but Buffalo as well. The snow that passed through in the middle morning, while it was very heavy, is not something that is so difficult we can't manage it. We can manage it. The problem is we are afraid of what may happen at 5 o'clock and onwards if the snow ban comes back through and there's a lot of people on the roads at that point. So we're asking businesses to close early. Once again, the Department of Public Works staffs are doing a great job keeping up with it. We had really good reports, including from some areas that were hit very hard in the overnight hours. Most of these communities are in pretty good shape, but they still need some more time to finish doing the work, pushing snow from out of lanes that they probably all, what we've basically been able to gather is they have room for emergency vehicles to pass, but maybe don't have 2 lanes on a residential road. So they need a little bit more time to clear up. And we just ask everyone to honor the driving bans, and hopefully we'll be able to lift them later tonight or at least by tomorrow morning. And hopefully that's it. We've been told by the Weather Service that once the ban comes through, the lake effect snows will not go as deep into the county, no more than 10 miles into the county. So some of the areas that got hit hard, Lancaster and so forth, they might not see it as bad as they did last night. Our friends in Evans, Angola, the Lakeview section of Hamburg, the town of Hamburg are probably going to see another foot of snow. Though areas south like Lakeview and Angola didn't get that, so it would be no new snow for them. And finally, we are anticipating a general snowfall tomorrow, but the lake effect bans are not expected to hit tomorrow. So hopefully this is it. With that, we're going to open up to questions. I see Michael Wooten has his hand up, so I ask Michael, you can go first. Just unmute yourself.
Hi, Mr. Polencars. We have heard from viewers today, especially maybe downtown north.
Michael, are you there? I can't hear you. Well, hang on. Maybe you are there. You might have to increase my speaker. Yep, I do. Sorry. Hang on. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No problem. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. we've heard from viewers who maybe live downtown and north who are under travel bans this weekend, who believe conditions are worse now than before. You can never please everyone with these bans. Some people think we should never have them. Some people think we should always have them. Can you walk us through what the criteria is specifically in what areas have a travel ban and what areas don't? And then what you would say about the city of Buffalo only having it south of Broadway?
Well, you have to take into account the forecast, and remember the forecast last night originally was 4 to 8 in the overnight hours, and then they upped it later in the evening to 8 to 12. But that's manageable. I got a call at 4:30 in the morning saying it's raining cats and dogs and Peppa Pigs and Orchard Park and Hamburg, and that they were going to be doing travel bans at that point. The other thing that is completely different than what happened with this storm or the blizzard of 22 is we really don't have the wind. It's starting to blow a little bit now, but we don't have those huge winds that were creating just pure whiteout conditions everywhere. Even when I drove to the emergency operations center late this morning, it feels like the afternoon because it's been up so long, but it was manageable, and you could see where you're going because it wasn't the pure whiteouts. It was heavy snow, but you could drive. The irony is this heavy snow that we're seeing in the metro area is usually what we get in southern Erie County, and we don't often do driving bans down there because we can handle it. It just happens to have hit an area that has more population. Uh, so what I would note to folks is we rely on the weather forecast, as well as dealing with the then conditions. You don't want to put driving bans in areas that don't need them. The county of Erie geographically is the same size as the state of Rhode Island. We were talking to our friends in southern Erie County, Concord, Sardinia, other places that were on our local leaders call, and they hardly got any snow. So you have to try to balance it between where the problem is going to be, and the expectation of snowfall. I went to bed last night thinking that, well, we'll get maybe a foot of snow in that area, but we'll be able to handle it, not thinking that it was going to be 2.5 to 3 feet of snow. That's what can happen. And then on Buffalo, the decision was based on the conditions. I mean, Buffalo itself is fairly large. It's actually geographically much larger than most other towns. And the northern part of Buffalo has gotten some snow, 8 to 9 inches, but you don't necessarily do a driving ban just for 8 to 9 inches of snow. It's South Buffalo, Lovejoy, Kaisertown areas that did get a significant amount of snow. So what we would say is if the northern part of Buffalo or central Buffalo was a separate municipality, there probably would not even be a consideration of a driving ban at this point, but it's part of the city. So people wonder why you don't put the whole city under a driving ban. Well, you don't want to do it if you don't need it. And it's remember, we do driving bans because conditions merit it, where either it is too dangerous to be on the road or roads are impassable. It's not because it's a lot of snow. 8 to 9 inches of snow does not justify a driving ban. 3 feet does because it's impassable. Conditions are bad, you could get stuck, and we're expecting it to continue like that for 12 hours or more, then it's dangerous. We just don't issue driving bans because we receive heavy snow. If that was the case, we know how our winters are. We'd be doing driving bans every 3 days, and we try to avoid that. Any other questions? I don't see any other hands up. Nick, Veronica,
Hi, Mark.
and then
I
go
see you have
ahead.
your Sabre shirt on today. Given that the stadium is currently under the area of a driving ban, is there any update on tonight's game?
It is still in an area of a driving ban. I believe they're trying to resolve that issue with the NHL right now. Our recommendation from the county, considering we expect the driving ban to be in place through 7 o'clock and the band coming in, is to delay the game. My understanding, the Blackhawks are here, but they could delay the game. So we're hoping they delay the game till tomorrow. I happen to put this on because not only am I a big Sabres fan, but it actually has nice fleece lining and it's warm.
Thanks.
Sandra, did you have a question? I saw your hand was up.
I actually had the exact same question, so that was
Okay.
answered. Thank you.
All right. I don't see any other hands up. Michael, your hand is up still. Does that mean you have another question or just didn't take it down?
I will follow up if I can. We haven't gotten really answers from the Thruway Authority yet today. The Thruway remains open to normal car traffic. There were times today when there were a lot of disabled vehicles on the sides of the road. Looked like people
Mhm.
were kind of stuck. The throughway and the 190, the 90 and 190 were a mess for a good chunk of the morning. Have you had conversations with the Thruway Authority about the decisions that they've made for that roadway?
Uh, we talked to the state, and there is some incongruity here. The 219 is presently closed, and it's down to bare pavement and fine, but the thruway is open. I know that there was the worry about vehicles being taken off the road and put into areas that were heavy snow, such as exits 56 and 57 in Hamburg or 55 in Lackawanna. We didn't want truck traffic diverted off of there. So I know that they made a decision to let those trucks go through rather than come off the road, and then cause more problems, because now we have all these tractor trailers and other vehicles in areas that just got 2 to 3 feet of snow, and we have nowhere to put them, and we got to still clean the snow out. So the idea was to have the trucks pass through, but my understanding is they were closing the throughway then to further traffic at the 390 in Rochester and Interstate 86 in Pennsylvania. It appears that didn't happen, and I don't know why. I don't have an answer to that question. Our expectation was that we're going to close the 390 heading west and I-86 heading east. And then that would help us by just allowing the rest of the traffic that was already on the thruway to pass through, so we didn't have to divert it off to areas that received 2 to 3 feet of snow. That was what I was told was the plan. It appears it didn't happen. And as I said, there's some really incongruity here, because the 219 is closed and it's down to bare pavement. It was bad on the 219 in Orchard Park and in Hamburg earlier, where it connects back on with the thruway in the Lackawanna area. But now it's clear, but it's still closed, and we're actually having issues because trucks that normally would go up the 219 north are ignoring that and going up county roads because there's no driving ban down there, which we're not normally wouldn't be worried about, except we are expecting that snow to come back through the overnight hours. And then what happens are with these trucks that are going on county roads. So we're trying to get to the bottom of it. I don't have a better answer because it's not something that we control, but we do talk to them and they let us know what's happening. But it's apparent that whatever happened in the thruway, which we were expecting, is that they were going to stop traffic, didn't.